This is 50 pesos, and did you know for as little as this amount, you can start investing for your future using GCash? Want to find out how? Then watch to the end to find out. Hey guys, my name is Luis and I'm a 4th year medical student for the Philippines. And one thing I've gotten into during my time in med school is personal finance. And that's something I wasn't really digging deep into while I was in college. But when I got into medical school and started pursuing both my MD and MBA degrees, I learned more about the value of money and the importance of making it grow. And after learning so much from both school and doing my own research, I got frustrated by how much time I'd wasted by not starting sooner. But as the saying goes, the best time to invest was 20 years ago, and the second best time is now. So regardless if you're a final year medical student or a freshman entering university, this video should serve as a nice intro to your journey to financial literacy. So the topics I'll be discussing in this video include why I started investing my money, so you know where I'm coming from and learn the importance of why it's important to invest, what GInvest is and why I use GInvest, what funds they offer so you have an idea of what products you can choose from when you avail their service. Then I'll demonstrate on how to invest on the platform and show you some results of the early investments I made when I first tried out the product a few months ago. Now there are three main reasons why I invest my money. The first reason is to protect the value of my money from inflation. Now inflation is an economic term used to describe the increase in prices of goods or services over a period of time. For example, back in 2015 when I was still an undergrad, a Jollibee Yum Burger meal with fries and drink cost around 63 pesos. Fast forward to 2021, and the same Yum Burger meal costs around 95 pesos. That's roughly a 50% increase in just a short amount of time. Now the impact of this is that money that you have lying around, whether it's in your wallet, your piggy bank, or your safe at home, will over time slowly lose their value as the products you use the money for to buy will gradually increase in price. The second reason I invest my money is to have enough set aside just in case something bad unexpectedly happens. As much as I'd like nothing ever bad to happen to me or my family, life is unpredictable. It is very rare to predict with any level of accuracy major events that will impact you financially. Case in point, the pandemic we're currently in. Emergencies, accidents, and other unforeseen events can happen at any time, so it's best to always be prepared as possible in the event those things occur. Lastly, the third reason I invest my money is to build wealth. Now, despite what mainstream media tells you about doctors earning more than the average person, that doesn't mean that all doctors are wealthy. Doctors have the potential to earn a lot, but also have the potential to spend just as much as they earn. At the end of the day, how wealthy you are just comes down to the difference between how much you earn and how much you spend. And one way to achieve all of this, beating inflation, protecting yourself from unforeseen circumstances, and building wealth over time, is by investing. Now, big disclaimer, the truth about investing is that nothing is ever guaranteed and there are certain levels of risk involved depending on how much money you can get in return. So general rule of thumb is that only invest as much money as you're willing to lose. Now, what is GInvest? Well, GInvest is an investing platform built into GCash that allows you to invest into UITFs. Now, I won't go into detail about what a UITF is, but to give a short summary, UITFs are kind of like mutual funds where you pool funds on different sources to invest into a stock or asset at a much lower price for the individual. So for example, I contribute 50 pesos, my mom contributes 100 pesos, and my brother contributes 300 pesos, and you scale that up to hundreds of people so you can pool your funds together so you can buy individual stocks at a subsidized price for people who can't afford to pay for the whole stock completely. And by doing this allows you to diversify your stock portfolio at a much cheaper price. Since if one stock performs poorly, it can be balanced out by the better performance of other stocks within the pool. Another difference between this method and just buying the individual stocks is that you don't own the individual stocks, but rather a share of the pool that you bought into. What this means, as the stock prices of the shares of the pool go up, so does the overall value of the pool. And how much you earn is dependent on the increase in value between when you initially invested and the new stock price. If you want to dig deeper into the specifics, my friend Nicole Alba has a video dedicated on her channel to UITFs, so I suggest you go check that out after you watch this one. So why GInvest? Well, the main reason I use GInvest is it's convenient. I already use GCash for a lot of my cashless transactions, and it's much simpler than going through a bank to invest in their similar products. And most important of all, since it's quite seamless to just take money from your GCash account and invest it into your GInvest account, it makes it much easier to build a habit of investing regularly. And when trying to build a habit, I find it's very important to decrease the amount of steps required to do so. That way, there's less friction blocking you from actually doing the activity you desire to build a habit of. So first product we'll be discussing is the Peso Money Market Fund. Now this fund is ideal for people who want low risk, short-term investments because this fund mainly invests into safe assets such as treasury bills. And as a result of its low risk nature, it also has low rewards. If you check at the past 1 year return, it only has a 0.44% return. But at least it has a minimum investment of 50 pesos, so it really has a really low barrier to entry, where you can just put in 50 pesos and you're already invested in the fund. Now the next fund we'll be talking about is the Total Return Peso Bond Fund. And this fund is more on the moderate side when it comes to risk, since it invests in fixed rate treasury notes and in corporate bonds. And if you look at the fund description, it's currently invested in Metro Bank and RCBC corporate bonds. And the goal of this fund is to preserve the capital while having some capital gains in the process. Like the money market fund, it only requires a minimum investment amount of 50 pesos and has a relatively higher rate of return of 1.62 from the past year. The next fund I'll be talking about is the Philippine Equity Smart Index Fund. And this is a more aggressive fund since it's an actively managed fund by the company Atram. And how this fund works is that the company Atram picks stocks among the companies listed in the Philippine Stock Exchange Index and actively manages them. You can check the company website for a specific breakdown of the companies they're invested in, but as of May 31, 2021, the companies they're currently invested in are Globe, Ayala, SM Investments, and Universal Robina Corp. Like the previous two funds, the fund has a minimum investment of 50 pesos but has a relatively higher rate of return, although do take note that this comes with a higher level of risk. And if you look at the graph, you can see the current downward trend that the fund value is in, which just shows the volatility of some investments. The next fund I'll be talking about is the Global Consumer Trends Feeder Fund. And this fund is similar to the Philippine Stock Exchange Index, except the fund invests in companies worldwide that have a focus on individual consumer needs. This includes companies like Amazon, Alibaba, and Shopee. This fund is more on the aggressive side when it comes to risk and has a higher minimum investment amount of 1,000 pesos. But in exchange, you have a way higher potential for return, as you can see here, of the past year return being 50.81%. And last but not least, the Global Technology Feeder Fund. This fund is similar to the Global Consumer Trends Fund, except it focuses on technology companies instead, such as Microsoft, Apple, and Alphabet, which is the parent company of Google. Like the Global Consumer Fund, it also has a minimum investment of 1,000 pesos, and its return from the past year is about 51.67%. Now this is actually the fund I first invested in when I tried out the product a few months back. So at the end of this video, I'll be showing you the results of my investment, but first, let me demonstrate how to invest in the product. So to invest in GInvest, you start first here from the main homepage of the app in GCash. So as you can see, I already took the liberty of withdrawing 50 pesos from my savings account to invest in one of the products. So you go to show more and then select GInvest. So if you already have a GCash account, you have to first verify your account in order to invest in GInvest. So make sure you do that before you follow along with the steps I'm currently doing. So view investment products, and we will invest the 50 pesos in the Peso Money Market Fund. So we select buy, and then you just agree to these user agreements. And then you'll be sent an authentication code, and you input that. And then you input the amount that you want to invest. So here we have the 50 pesos, which is what I've put into my GCash wallet. So proceed to the next step, and then you agree with the terms of the investment. So make sure to read through that, and then you confirm. So there are orders placed, and I've received the text notification to confirm. So the transaction will take a few days to reflect, but this is basically confirming now that I have placed the order for that 50 peso amount. So to buy the equivalent amount of units within the pool at the time that I placed the order. So to show the growth of my initial investment a few months ago, I made an initial investment of 1,000 pesos in the Global Technology Feeder Fund back on March 19 of this year. And right now, at the time of filming this, it's July 19. So it's roughly been 4 months since I first made that investment. And as you can see, the amount has grown from 1,000 pesos to 1,115.31 pesos. So that's roughly an over 10% increase in just a 4-month span. But do note that this is not yet realized gain since it's still in the investment and it'll only be realized once I withdraw it. But this may still go up and down since I intend to keep this investment for the long term. So if you want to try this out and you don't have a GCash account yet, you can use my referral link down below and get 70 pesos of freebies to start out. And don't forget to leave a comment down below and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more finance related content in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.